And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And yes, here we are again, another day committed to being your consumer advocate, helping you understand your buying decisions and making you more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Welcome to the program today. We have a great lineup for you today. We got James Grant coming on the show. James is from ServPro. He's a marketing manager with ServPro right here in Tampa Bay. And also Thomas YOUNK, Cons Helping Cons. You've heard Thomas speak on the show and does a great job with his programs that he has free to serve on Facebook. Cons Helping Cons, free to serve on Facebook. Also Matt DeMayo, special guest Matt DeMayo in the house. Straight A Strategies. We're going to talk with him. And he's got a video that has 7 million views and growing online on YouTube, how to absorb textbooks that is, like a sponge. Awesome video. So we're going to introduce him in just a moment. Before we do, I want to thank one of our sponsors here. We've got Ramin Kazami, Heights Pressure Wash here in Tampa Bay. Soft wash. He does a soft wash, can help you clean your buildings, clean all of your real estate properties. He does a great job for our real estate business with Keller Williams Realty. Ramin Kazami, look him up online, Heights Soft Pressure Wash right here in Tampa Bay. And we like to feature our real estate listings as well. We've got a beautiful property on the beach, 722 Pruitt Drive, Madeira Beach. Gorgeous duplex, great opportunity, 95-foot lot, deep water access as well to the Tampa Bay fishing waters. Of course, going over to the beach is a short walk. 722 Pruitt Drive, Madeira Beach. Bring your boat. Enjoy all the best that Pinellas County, Tampa Bay, Florida has to offer. The best place in the country to live, work, and play. Also, 100 Oakmont Lane in Bel Air. This is a beautiful condo with $1 million views from the 6th floor. You've got unit number 611 listed by the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. 100 Oakmont Lane in Bel Air. Great buying opportunity here in Tampa Bay, and you can see all of our listings at Platinum MVP Team. .kw.com.
This is God's country.
All right, let's introduce our in-studio guest, Matt DeMayo. Welcome back.
Hey, I'm always happy to be here. This is always a lot of fun for me.
Yeah, man, and you do such a great job. You're such a great public speaker, and just your books are amazing, and your videos are amazing, and you're making an impact out there.
You know, I'm on a mission at this stage of my life to make a positive, lasting impact on the lives of students all over the world.
Yeah.
And I'll be 70 on my next birthday, and God put this new project in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm doing everything I can to leave a great legacy. I have students that write to me on my YouTube videos that have names that cannot be spelled with our alphabet. So I've got people all over the world writing in, contacting me, and letting me know what a tremendous impact some of these learning strategies have had on their lives.
Yeah, students of all kinds too. I think about people that are looking to get that advanced degree later in age, or they're getting their real estate license for the first time. I mean, these are strategies that can help anybody.
In fact, I'm glad that you talked about that, because what I want to talk about today is we're coming into the final exam time of the year, and final exams are not just for students. As you pointed out, real estate exams. You had a buddy of mine on recently, Michael Watkins.
Yeah.
You know, and when you're in the financial planning thing, like he is, he's the 401k revival. When you're in the financial services business, you've got to pass all sorts of exams, Series 6, Series 7. Even a truck driver or a school bus driver has to pass the CDL. And so you're never done with test taking as you're progressing through a career.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to talk with Matt DeMayo here coming up as well. We're going to go to the phone lines now. Thomas YOUNK, Cons Helping Cons, back on the program. And Thomas is doing some good work. He's doing God's work up there, in mostly in Pasco County, Hernando County areas. And Thomas, welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. You know, we love to highlight local area movers and shakers, people getting things done. In some cases it's a nonprofit organization, others it's a business that is for profit. But Thomas, you give us a brief overview again for the folks that may not have heard you on our show before. Cons Helping Cons, free to serve.
Well, it started when I was in prison. I saw guys leaving prison and coming back within a few months, and I asked them, why are you coming back? Surely this place doesn't appeal to you. But they said, get out there, we don't have any ability to get jobs or housing because we're felons. So that was when I made a vow to myself I was going to change that. So when I got out, I started this corporation, this nonprofit. And what we do is we help people find housing, and we help them find a job. But most importantly, we assign them a mentor, somebody who's been in their shoes and who has succeeded. And so far it's worked. 1,100 people we've helped. Only 5 have gone back to prison. And a lot of our people now are married, have great jobs, have homes. They're tax-paying, successful citizens.
Yeah, I mean, that's super. That's just such a great cause. It's such a great cause that you're doing that. And for our listening audience out there, people want to get involved. They can volunteer. They can provide, of course, financial resources. What's the best call to action for folks to get involved?
Actually, I'll be honest with you. I'm one of these guys who I'm afraid to ask for money because I don't want ever anybody to say, hey, this dude's in this for the money.
Right.
So I just ask people to pray for us. And I'll tell you, we've been fortunate. We've had some grants flow our way. And, lately up here, for a while there, I had a hard time finding housing because of that whole situation with the pandemic moratorium on evicting renters.
Right.
So nothing was opening up. I had people, out of the goodness of their heart, open up bedrooms in their homes up here.
Wow.
And I thought, wow, that's a step out in faith, to allow somebody coming out of prison into their home.
Yeah.
And even though of course, I reassure them, I vet everybody who comes into our program.
Yeah.
And they have to have a spirituality about them in order to come into our program. They don't have to be Christian. They don't have to be, any certain religion. I'm always nervous about that word. But they do have to understand that there is a higher power and it's not them.
Right. Exactly.
And we find that those people work well because once we realize that we are not God, we're open to God's leading. And it always works a lot better than our own plans do. So we've been fortunate here. People have opened up their houses to these men and women, and it's been great. They got roofs over their head. They've got a safe haven to go home to at night. They have a job. They're starting to put away money, and they eventually get out on their own. It's a blessing.
Yeah, man, it really is. You're a blessing to society, I tell you. But by doing that, I mean, you're helping change lives in the most impactful way. People that are down and out, they went to prison, they served their time. Now it's like, okay, we got, as a society, we got to do better at getting people reacclimated to be able to hold down a job, to be able to pay their bills, and to be these good pillars of society. And that's, man, what a great job you're doing there, Thomas. Cons Helping Cons, free to serve on Facebook. That's where people can find you as well, right? On Facebook, they can see engage with you there.
Place. Yes.
Cons Helping Cons, free to serve. So if you want to connect with them there as well. And Thomas, tell us, a little bit about the recidivism rate, and also we were connected through Captain Will Smith.
Yes.
Talk about that.
Well, the recidivism rate in Florida, if somebody gets out of prison and they have no assistance and they just go about it on their own, they have a 77% chance of going back to prison within 3 years.
Wow.
Our program, we've got less than 1% recidivism rate. We've only had 5 people go back out of over 1,100 people. And Captain Will and I, we actually met through a reentry meeting. Oh, it must have been about a year or so ago now. And we have the same idea. Let's help these guys change their way of thinking. Let's assign them a mentor to help them make some good choices. Get them into a safe haven, get them a job. I mean, everything else just flows from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And
the nice thing about Captain Will, he's been in the same boat too. He was in prison, and actually he was unjustly put in prison, and so he understands the hassle of trying to get out and get back into real life.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's actually written a couple books about it, The Process, Falling from the Sky, the Ditches to Riches book as well, helping people, with that and helping them with the book, and then also speaking at some of the prisons, helping them get back into, it's a change of mindset, right? It's mainly a change of mindset in, hey, this is one rule, this is one paradigm that I have in prison, and then when you come out, it's completely opposite paradigm shift. It's a complete shift that has to happen to be able to come back out and not get in fights or get into a position where you're going to be right back in the slammer.
Oh yeah, because you're on red alert the entire time you're in prison. You have to be. It's self-survival mode.
Yeah.
So, and when you get out, you got to realize not everybody's out there trying to shank you. You got to relax a little bit when you get out.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have to be a little more tolerant. Great story is a friend of mine who actually he was a lifer. He got out after doing 28 years. In prison, respect is a big thing. If you disrespect somebody, there are consequences, major consequences. This guy was in line. He had only been out of prison about 5 days. He's in line at the 7-Eleven. A dude cuts in front of line in front of him at the 7-Eleven.
Wow.
You never, ever do that in prison. You get a beat down for doing that. You get shanked in prison for cutting in line.
Wow.
That's one of the ultimate forms of disrespect. And my buddy said he suddenly felt himself reaching for a shank, like he used to always carry when he was inside. Of course, he didn't have one now.
Yeah.
But then it dawned on him, he said, whoa, man, I'm on the outside. It can't be just, sticking somebody because they cut mine. But I do have a saying, and my wife will tell you this. I say this a lot. Everybody needs to do some time.
Yeah.
Because when you're inside, you learn respect.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of disrespect in society.
Yeah. That's probably the number one problem with society right now is just especially getting behind the keyboard and acting all tough, saying things on a computer screen, typing things in that you wouldn't say to the person's face. You would not say those things, and you're emboldened when you're punching it into a Facebook post or an Instagram. So that's probably one of the number one downfalls that I see with society right now.
Yes. And look at road rage. Road rage, too, is that way.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, road rage. Thomas YOUNK here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Cons helping cons. We take some of our time for our show to highlight nonprofit organizations. We've talked with Warwick Dunn Charities over the years, Children's Cancer Center, Thomas YOUNK, of course, Cons helping cons here on the program. We've also interviewed United States Institute Against Human Trafficking. John Long has been on the show many times, and these are things that we're doing to help the community. So we greatly appreciate you supporting the show by supporting our 80 different categories of consumer advocate content and advice. So we're bringing on attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors, self-defense experts, technology experts, almost every little niche that you can think of in business or life. We've got you covered. So think of our show as the super connector for anything that you need out there. 813-750-0550. Just call or text that line, 813-750-0550. We'll put you in touch with all of the best, and we're talking about specific attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors. So many ways we can help you here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. 813-750-0550. Call or text. And also consumerqb.com. That's the website you can find us at, consumerqb.com. All right, Thomas, what else are you seeing out there? I know the prison systems are somewhat overloaded. There's Captain Will's also speaking at some of these prisons and giving away his book. I think he's got it on the JPay account now as well.
Let me tell you, things have really, really gotten bad. I mean, it's always been bad in prison. It's gotten worse. There's so many correctional officers quitting that they're having to close camps, prisons, and pour more inmates into other prisons. So now the remaining prisons are becoming overcrowded, and there's a huge gang problem in the prison system. And what they did for years is they would keep, gang A in this prison and gang B in that prison. Well, now because they've got so few prisons open with so many people, the gangs are getting mixed. Just yesterday at Hardy Correctional, big gang war, 5 people were killed and 10 went to intensive care.
Wow. Man, that's so sad.
And I mean, it's dangerous for everybody. I mean, it's dangerous for the correctional officers that are there. It's dangerous for the inmates that are caught in the melee. So it's a big problem. Food quality is a problem right now because they're so short of funding. They're cutting way back on the food. So it's a really, really bad time to be in prison.
Well, Thomas, that's about our time for today. People can find you online. Cons Helping Cons, free to serve. Connect with them online. Final thought, Thomas.
Final thought is just be blessed with what you have. There's another saying that a lot of us use that have done time. Our worst day out here is better than our best day inside.
Yeah.
So recognize that you have your freedom, love it, and appreciate it.
That's right. Good stuff. Thanks, Thomas. Appreciate all the work you're doing out there.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Matt DeMayo in studio. Our friend Matt, we go way back, Matt, and you're not going to want to miss this. Test-taking tactics skyrocket your scores for final exams. 7 million viewers on one of his top videos, 7 million plus, and YouTube.com. Be Smarter Faster is his channel. More with Matt DeMayo here on the Consumer Quarterback Show and ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for Cleaning Commandos here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Cleaning Commandos are hiring, and they're offering competitive wages, flexible hours, relaxed atmosphere, and a sign-on bonus. Reach out if you'd like a career with the Cleaning Commandos here in Tampa Bay. Info at cleaningcommandosllc.com or call 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550. Cleaning Commandos, Consumer Quarterback Show. Hey, Brandon Rhymes here. We are looking for real estate investors. We've got a new relationship bringing us a tremendous amount of off-market real estate investment opportunities. So text the word investor to our hotline, 813-750-0550. Off-market real estate investment opportunities. Text investor to 813-750-0550. Brandon Rhymes here, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, looking for real estate investors. Send us a text.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at ConsumerQB.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us here. Consumer Quarterback Show powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. If you're buying, selling, or investing, we would love to talk to you. My wife and I own a top-ranked real estate team here in Tampa Bay. We rank in the top 1% of 25,000 realtors in Tampa Bay. We're in the top 1%. So we feature our real estate listings live on air to help our sellers profit more and sell faster. We got a property listed here. It's a dry cleaner at 4214 North Nebraska Avenue right here in Tampa Bay. It's a dry cleaner business. The business is included for the price of $599,000. A great opportunity right here in Tampa Bay. We're still waiting on professional photography from Fabre Frameworks if you are looking at our TV show there. So we got much better photography coming. 2,500 square feet, dry cleaning business and real estate property right here in Tampa Bay. Corner lot location in Nebraska Avenue, Seminole Heights area. Lots of traffic driving by, about 40 to 50,000 vehicles a day passing by that property. All right, 15806 Adobe Drive in Hudson. This is a great opportunity. Think about the investment opportunity from a passive income standpoint. You got 8 rooms that you can rent out, 8 bedrooms, 4 bath. It's a gas wood-burning fireplace, vaulted ceilings, stainless steel appliances, gas stove, sauna, walk-in shower. Beautiful property right here in Tampa Bay up in Hudson. And you can see all of our real estate listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, we're back here. We got Matt DeMayo in the house. Straight A strategies and test-taking tactics. Skyrocket your scores on final exams.
A lot of alliteration.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And it's all catchy. It's all very catchy, and it's very interesting, and it's something that's practical that can really help people out.
You know, it's not just for parents, but this, the students really go through a tough time during final exams. And you're a parent. You've seen your daughter deal with some of the stress that they have to deal with during the final exam period of time, and man, it is not easy. And so, what I came today to talk about is some tips that will make it a lot easier to do well on the exam, even if you don't know the material any better.
Wow.
And so that's why I've got 5 tips. I don't know that I'm going to get to them all today, but I wanted to give you some ideas. Now, the interesting thing is when you take a test, you're really being tested on 2 things. Number one, of course, is how well you know the content, how well you know the material. And that's what everybody focuses on. They don't realize that there's more to it than that. But the second thing that you're being tested on is how well you take a test.
Yeah.
And so what I've done is I've developed strategies that allow you to perform better during the exam itself, even if you don't know the material any better. So can I give you a couple of examples?
Let's go through.
All right. Simple things like where you sit in the exam room and what you wear during a test can affect your score. They say, like, wait a minute. What you're wearing can affect your score? Yes, I'll explain in a minute. But none of the things that I'm going to talk about are big.
Right.
These are all really, really little things. It's like having sand in the track on your sliding glass door.
Right.
Sand is not a big deal. It's tiny.
Yep.
But yet that sand can stop your door from opening and closing.
Yep.
However, squirt a little bit of WD-40 in there, and it opens and closes like butter.
Yep.
Not a big deal, but a huge difference in the outcome. All right,
Sure.
so let's talk about clothing.
Small shifts.
Absolutely. So you're taking an exam, and they've done studies where they took co-eds and they put them in swimsuits during an exam. And the fellas that were dressed in a swimsuit did as well as they normally do. But the women that were dressed in swimsuits during the exam did terrible because they were so self-conscious.
Wow.
So you don't want to wear things that make you self-conscious, that are uncomfortable,
Yep.
that are itchy, that are scratchy, that are
Yep.
too tight, because it distracts your mind during the exam process.
Okay.
Let's talk about other distractions. Where you sit in the room.
Yeah.
You don't want to sit too close to the door because you've got people coming in and out. You don't want to sit too close to the air conditioning or the heating system because A, it'll make you feel temperature-wise uncomfortable, but also the noise of it kicking on and off, depending on, where you're watching this video. I remember back in school in New Jersey, when the heating system came on in the wintertime, holy mackerel, it was like a truck going by.
Yeah.
And so you also don't want to sit next to that hottie you've got a crush on.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're being distracted. So little things like that. But I want to talk about before the exam. This is surprising to a lot of people. The single best place in the world to study for a test. Some people think, well, it's the library or a quiet room or maybe the park. The best place in the world to study for an exam is the room in which you're going to take that exam. And you go, well, why is that? Listen, as a quarterback for a champion team, you know the advantage of a home field advantage.
Yes.
There's something psychological about it. There's these little tiny synapses that click
Right.
when you're on your home field. Every actor knows what it's like to do a dress rehearsal on the stage where they're going to actually do the performance. There's something minute that happens inside your head where you make these micro connections. So if you study in the room where you're going to take the exam, you'll do better on that exam.
Yeah. Same thing for
Little
public
things.
speaking, too.
Absolutely.
If you're going to be able to access that room or that stage, if you're going to be public speaking, that's one more thing in your favor.
It's funny you should talk about that.
Yeah.
And because as a result of the pandemic, I haven't been traveling and speaking, but for decades I traveled all over North America on stages here and there. And one of the things that I would always do is either the night before or the day of my presentation is when there was nobody around, I would get up on that stage and I would imagine my audience in front of me, just so that I would have my pacing, I would get the feel for what the stage was like, how much room I had to move, make sure I wasn't being blocked by anything, and kind of do a little bit of rehearsal in a live environment.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, hey, that's good stuff. Good tips, and we're going to talk more about test-taking tactics, point out his 7 million followers or views that he's had on his book, How to Absorb Textbooks Like a Sponge. More with Matt DeMeo coming up. Follow us online. We'd love to connect with you at Brandon Rhymes1 on Instagram and Twitter. Our Spotify, iTunes podcast, you can follow it there, as well as youtube.com, Brandon Rhymes Realty on YouTube. We'll be right back after this short break.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator. and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Five, four, three, two, one.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in your real estate deals. Of course, if you're buying, selling, or investing. And we like to feature our real estate listings live on air to help you sell faster and get more exposure for the real estate properties. We've got a property right here in Land O'Lakes. It's 5602 Land O'Lakes Boulevard in Land O'Lakes. This is a beautiful property. This is acreage. You've got 7 acres of land up on the east side of US 41. And it's abutting up to a lake right up here in Tampa Bay. It's 5602 Land O'Lakes Boulevard that you've got a commercial opportunity. So it's a great opportunity for builders, developers, entrepreneurs. 4.56 usable uplands on Lake Helen. Zone C2 commercial general right here in Tampa Bay. Also, we've got a property at 4302 North Nebraska Avenue. This is a professional office building for sale, corner lot with a billboard, 50,000 vehicles a day passing by. Great opportunity. Very nice office, clean, wood flooring, fireplace, and more at our property listing at 4302 North Nebraska Avenue. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. And a quick shout out to Veteran Gutters, Brandon Porter and his team. They do such a great job. If you're thinking about adding gutters onto any of your real estate properties, reach out to Brandon Porter with Veteran Gutters. He's a veteran. He served our country. His products are American made. Veteran Gutters, longtime friends of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, we got Matt DeMayo in the house, test-taking tactics. And when we first met, kind of were coined as the memory expert. That was like one of your first books. And, that's kind of like how people would remember you, remembering names was with your book. And that's one of the biggest things that people still have a problem with. I still find, people just can't remember the names of people that they meet a lot of times.
You invited me to a party at a former station where you were over on Gandy.
Yeah.
And I remember that's where I met a bunch of very cool people that I'm still friends with.
Yeah.
Corey Van Valen, the magician.
Yeah.
He was on right before me, and we blew each other away. He did his magic tricks. I did some mental magic.
Yeah.
But what really grabs the audience is that I can introduce myself during the break, before I go on, and say hello to every single person while I'm on stage and recall the names of everybody in my audience.
Yeah.
And giving people that level of personal respect and personal attention really makes a big difference. And it connects people together. Look at you and I.
Yep.
I mean, how many years ago was that?
Yeah.
And
about 9 years probably.
And here you've had me on as a guest frequently, and I always enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you, Matt. And I think it's also kind of hits home too with a daughter now that's taking classes, and she has these tests, and and I pointed her to some of your videos, and I wish they would do more of that, but it's kind of comes into that.
Hey, I wish my daughter would watch some of my videos a little bit more too.
Right.
She's in her 3rd year at Florida State University, but she's been an excellent student. A lot of these things have become ingrained in her.
Yeah.
When I came in today, I had an agenda to be able to help out parents and students. And like we talked about earlier, students of all ages with exams. And if I can, I'd like to get back to that for a second.
Sure, let's do it.
Because there is really one thing that is the grade killer when you're taking a test, and that is stress.
Yeah.
That will affect you before the test, and it'll absolutely affect you during the test. Now, this is not just a little grain of sand. This is more like a full-size rock.
Yeah.
You know. So here are some things that you can do before you take the test to reduce your stress level. So let's talk about right before. It's exam day, and what can you do right before time? So the first thing is you want to make sure you know where you're going. Now, if you're in high school or grade school or even in university, it may not be that big of a deal. Although sometimes in university, they'll have you go to a different lecture hall.
Yeah.
However, if you're taking the Series 6 or Series 7, if you're taking a real estate exam, if you're taking the CDL or whatever professional test you're taking, you've got to go someplace else. And you're taking it in a room full of strangers.
Yep.
And if you don't know where you're going and it's last minute, that is really stressful.
Yep.
Not just finding the building, but finding what room you need to be in. So why give yourself all that extra stress? And even if you think you gave yourself enough time, you got to account for many emergencies that happen before you leave. You suddenly you need to get gas. Your dog pukes on the floor right before you're ready to leave. Weird stuff.
It makes sense.
So during the test, self-talk. You know the thing that people say that absolutely kills them? They say they've got an answer and they know it's on the tip of their tongue. They can feel the answer to that question rattling around in their head and it won't come to them. And you know, they make a critical mistake. They say, oh no, I can't remember, which is the worst thing in the world you can do.
Yeah.
That is not what you want to say. What you do want to say is, it will come to me in a moment.
Yeah.
I refer to that phrase as magic words. It will come to me in a moment. And what happens is something internal clicks, the gears move a different way. I liken it to that you've got a little personal search engine assistant running around inside your head. Think of your own personal little Google, your own little searcher. And you say, find me the answer. And they'll be up in the attic looking in boxes and down in the basement looking behind the cobwebs. And if you say, I can't remember, you confuse your search engine assistant. But when you say, it'll come to me in a moment, that doubles their effort. And we've all had the experience of the answer is on the tip of your tongue. You're talking about old 1950s TV trivia, and you got the name of that actor on the tip of your tongue, and you can't think of it. At night, you're brushing your teeth, getting ready to go to bed, and all of a sudden it pops into your head, and you go, Desi Arnaz! Well, how did that happen? Your search engine assistant was looking for it the whole time. Well, guess what? You can speed it up by saying, it will come to me in a moment. Take a deep, cleansing breath, let it go, and in a moment, it'll pop into your head.
Yeah, positive, those positive reinforcements, those things, instead of saying, oh, I can never remember people's names, or I'm not good at that. So many people fall into that trap of painting themselves into a corner, so to speak, and it's really the opposite. You've got up on my mirror, I've got different incantations that I say often, and I'm blessed and highly favored. That's one of my favorite. I mean, how simple is that? And think about the amount of times you can say that in a week. If you have, for example, multiple times throughout the day, you're getting it out of your car, or whatever that trigger you may set for yourself. Say those incantations, say those things that you want to have happen, and it's amazing how the subconscious mind will help you.
Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between our tangible physical reality and what your imagination does.
Right.
And so you've got to be very careful with self-talk, because a lot of times people talk themselves down. I can't do this, I can't do that, I have a terrible memory, I can't remember the answer to a question, I'm no good at names. Well, you live up to, or in that case, you're living down to low expectations of yourself. On the other hand, you're not going to believe, oh, I have an amazing memory now. But what you can say is, I will remember that. I will remember you. I do care. Little things like that make a big difference.
Yeah, and they can be for anything that you want to attract into your life. I'm grateful for my abundance, or what you've heard all those different
Amen.
things over the years. Those are things. I'm happy and grateful now that money flows to me in increasing quantities from multiple sources on a continuous basis. I think that one was Bob Proctor. I got that one from. But yeah, there's some truth to that, and you saw like the movie The Secret and those types of things that come out. Some people say, oh, that's a airy fairy. That's not really true. What do you say to that?
I say talk to people who are tremendously successful, and ask them what they think about, and ask them what their view on the subject is.
Yeah.
Success leaves clues.
Yes.
When you have look, nobody ever accomplished anything great by thinking negatively.
Right.
And so if you realize that you can't accomplish anything great if you're always down on yourself, you're always thinking negative, it's got to be that possibility thinking that drives you to the next level.
Yeah.
And so success leaves clues.
Yeah, big thinking, create 10x, the whole 10x thinking. Think about those things that you want to attract, and that's going to help you, whether you're a student, whether you're in life, or you're going through a rough time. I think too many times people also wait till there's a bad time to really, focus on these things that they could be doing along the way. And then, of course, people get real religious when it's a bad time, too, don't they?
They sure do.
Let's take a quick break there. When we come back, I want to tell you about something good also that's in our feel-good story of the day. Tampa boaters try to scare cancer away during Halloween festivities. That's our feel-good story of the day. Also, more with our friend Matt DeMayo here in studio. Straight A Strategies. Check him out online, youtube.com. Be Smarter Faster is his YouTube channel. And he's got an offer coming up, a free offer. StartRemembering.com is his other website. So we'll be right back with more of our expert contributor here in studio and our feel-good story of the day right after this short break. Don't go anywhere.
Thanks for listening to My Daddy's Show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here. We are looking for real estate investors. We've got a new relationship bringing us a tremendous amount of off-market real estate investment opportunities. So text the word investor to our hotline, 813-750-0550. Off-market real estate investment opportunities. Text investor to 813-750-0550. Brandon Rhymes here, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, looking for real estate investors. Send us a text. Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for Cleaning Commandos here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Cleaning Commandos are hiring, and they're offering competitive wages, flexible hours, relaxed atmosphere, and a sign-on bonus. Reach out if you'd like a career with the Cleaning Commandos here in Tampa Bay. Info at cleaningcommandosllc.com or call 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550. Cleaning Commandos, Consumer Quarterback Show. Hey, Brandon Rhymes here. Contest alert. Would you like to have your automobile payment made by the Consumer Quarterback Show and Murphy Auto Group? Well, here's your opportunity. All you have to do is go to the Consumer Quarterback Show page on Facebook, as well as the Murphy Auto Group page, and like both pages and comment below on the contest flyer with the amount of your automobile payment. We will randomly select a winner next month. The Consumer Quarterback Show's Random Act of Kindness is making its way to Facebook. All you have to do is like the Consumer Quarterback Show page as well as Murphy Auto Group page and comment below with your car payment, and we will make that car payment for one randomly selected winner. ConsumerQB.com or reach out with any questions to 813-917-1894. ConsumerQB.com, 813-917-1894. Good luck. We hope you win the contest.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show. This segment's brought to you by the Golf Cart Depot right here in Tampa Bay. Golf Cart Depot, a.k.a. Discovery Golf Cars. And it seems like everybody's getting a golf car these days. Lots of fun, lots of makes and models that they offer there. Easy Go, Star EV, Cushman. They've got new or pre-owned, and you can rent or buy. Say hello to our friends at Discovery Golf Cars. Make sure you let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. All right, we got a feel-good story of the day for you here.
Tell me something good.
All right, so Tampa Bay boaters try to scare cancer away during Halloween festivities. This happened last Saturday, but adorned with jack-o'-lanterns, ghosts, and skeletons. Nearly 30 boats lit up the Hillsborough River Saturday night to raise money and awareness for childhood cancer. And one of the survivors was quoted as saying, Kaylee Kazmarek was quoted as saying, "It means a lot to me that even a small percentage of the kids that don't have to go through what I went through shared." She said, "I think that would be really great." She underwent treatment for leukemia 2.5 years ago. She said events like this not only put a smile on her face, but give hope. And this was put on by the boat parade of the Friends of the Riverwalk annual Halloween celebration that started with trick-or-treating along the Riverwalk. Nearly 50 candy stations were set up from Waterworks Park to MacDill Park. So, Feel Good Story of the Day, right there you have it on our Feel Good Story. Love that part of our show on this program here. So, Matt DeMayo in the house, and Straight A Strategies, test-taking tactics. And what else did you want to get to here in this last segment here?
Well, I thought we would do it al fresco and just kind of open it up and see what else you want to talk about.
Yeah.
I want to talk about your T-shirt.
Yeah, right. That's right. It seems like everybody's cheering for me this year. Let's go Brandon T-shirt here.
It's an amazing thing.
Yeah, it is. It's so interesting how that came about. But you got some very popular videos online. Your legacy is at this point cemented with what you've done, man. 7 million viewers. That's not many people can say they've got 7 million viewers on a video.
And it's not a funny cat video or a music video.
Right.
Me standing and the weird thing is, it's bad sound, bad lighting. I'm in a library teaching a class for a church group that originally I was just teaching on how to remember people's names for a small group.
Yeah.
But I videotape everything that I do.
Yeah.
And one of the my attendees, a colonel at the United States Air Force, Colonel Pinellas, she used to say, "It's Your Highness, Colonel Pinellas."
There you go.
And she brought her daughter, and the young girl asked about, what about textbooks, while I was teaching on something else, and I did this 8.5-minute riff on about dealing with a textbook differently than the way you deal with any other type of a book.
Right.
The mistake people make is they treat a textbook like it's a novel. They start at the first page and they read all the way on through in an order.
Right.
And that's just not the way your mind is going to be able to absorb it.
Right.
So I talk about breaking it into chunks, find out what the test questions are at the end of the chapter so you know what the target is, you know what you're looking for, and I go through the process a little bit at a time, and it really helps.
Yeah.
By the way, talking about helping, I have a gift for our viewers and your listeners.
Yeah, awesome.
And so I have a video that will triple your memory power without mnemonics, association, or other kind of memory tricks. It's a free video, and you can get it at startremembering.com. Now, how are you going to remember that? Startremembering.com, because you want to stop forgetting and start remembering. So if you want to triple your memory power, you're going to discover all of the things that cause you to have a bad memory now and solve the problem.
Hey, that's awesome. I think a lot of people can benefit from that. And, it takes the initiative, right? It takes that initiative to go in and to actually see the videos and bookmark them, send them to a friend, share it with a friend. And yeah, it's amazing what you can do with videos and YouTube nowadays. YouTube.com/Be Smarter Faster is the channel as well. And you've got some great videos on there. Give us some success stories. You mentioned earlier you have some folks that you've helped and, passing tests and all that.
There were a couple of things that really stopped me dead in my tracks. So one, about almost a year ago now, a young woman by the name of Lindsay wrote to me and told me that as a result of my material, she passed her MCAT. Now, that is the entrance exam to get into medical school.
Wow.
Now, so I wrote back to her to ask her about this. And she told me that she had even gone to one of these MCAT preparation facilities and didn't do as well with her practice tests as she did with the techniques that I had taught her.
Wow.
I just recently had somebody who knew me from more than 20 years ago. He was a little boy who lived on the street where I was staying when I was living on the island of Trinidad. And here it is, 20 years later, and he remembered me and gave me a shout out on YouTube.
Cool.
Hey, Uncle Matt.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and I can't tell you just the amount of people who talk about being successful with how many students have, been at the top of their grades. Magna cum laude, summa cum laude. It's almost overwhelming to see what people write to me.
That's awesome, man. What about some practical tips? What are some, we went through some tips on that, but just for everyday life, what can people do to, I remember one of the tips in your book was care. Actually, when you meet somebody, actually care that you know their name and you want to remember their name.
Ultimately, the secret to being able to learn everything and anything faster and easier comes down to using your mind the way our maker designed it. So there are two things your mind does naturally that you don't have to learn anything new to do it. Number one, your mind makes images. Your mind makes pictures. We call it imagination. In fact, what I do is I teach people where they see those images. When you see images in your head, you don't see them in the top or on the side or in the back. You see it on the movie screen on the inside of your forehead. Now, when I tell you where to look for it, it makes it easier to see it. So you can make these images. So the first thing is to be able to make images of what you want to learn, whether it's somebody's name, a formula, or what foreign language vocabulary. One of my videos, I have two videos specifically just on learning foreign language vocabulary or learning SAT vocabulary. And the second thing that your mind does is it makes connections.
Yes.
So it connects, it's like Tinker Toys or these days Legos. It connects this part to that part. And if you listen to very little children as they're learning something new, she'll say, Daddy, you mean it's like,
right.
That word like is this, is like that.
Yeah.
They're looking to be able to connect it. So the trick is learn how to make connections, learn how to make images and connect them to what you want to learn.
Right.
And I do this with, it doesn't matter whether it's philosophy or learning the Bible or learning physics or learning foreign language vocabulary or learning SAT vocabulary. It's the same process done in infinite variations all through there. And that's why I created a channel, because my channel really gives you lots and lots of examples of how do you make these pictures. Can I give you one quick example for,
please, yeah.
Like, so in one of my videos is about learning foreign language. All right, so I teach a handful of words in 6 different languages. Spanish, French, Norwegian, Tagalog, which is the language of the Philippines, Russian, Norwegian. So in French, the word for cow is vache. V-A-C-H-E, vache. So I can see that it sounds like, or I can make a picture for wash. So we're going to wash my cow. All right? And when you now, so what you've done is you've made an image for the word vache. You've connected it to cow. I'm going to wash my cow. Now, it's a sound image, but it's silly.
Yeah.
I was teaching about SAT vocabulary, and I used a word like calamity. And I have an image of a giant clam eating the city, a mighty clam. So a calamity destroying the city. Silly little things like that. when I explain it in a short form like this, people might roll their eyes and go, I don't know if it'll work or not. But the truth is, if you go about this in a systematic way, it always works for everybody all the time.
Yeah, because we all have that intelligent design. We're designed by the creator, and that's where, you know, these things are going to be universal to apply.
Absolutely. Make images, connect them together, and you can learn everything and anything faster and better. And that is why I have a free gift for people, so they can get on my mailing list at startremembering.com.
Startremembering.com. There we go. We'll leave it there. Thanks a lot, Matt. Appreciate you coming in. Those are great tips. Well said. And youtube.com/be-smarter-faster as well. And you can see more from our friend Matt DeMeo there. Hey, I want to thank all of our expert contributors, our producers behind the scenes putting the show together. Thanks so much. And we want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. We'll see you next time here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for The Consumer Quarterback Show.